Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. As we are returning to the abode, or not really abode is more of a home, the town or township, small city, burb of Night Vale. This episode is called The Candidate. And it's just kind of ironic that it shows up, that it falls in this place, this time of year, this year, and in the recording. So let's, without further ado, let's get into this.
The policeman in that intersection is not directing traffic. He's coding an urgent message to all of us. Welcome to Night Vale.
Yeah, I just wonder what the code is and what the message is. Like I said, I definitely got to find something to talk about something short to talk about during the music part. It probably helps on copyright too. However, the mysterious copyright algorithm for YouTube works.
First, the news. Old Town Night Vale residents are complaining about extremely noisy sunsets. Several agitated
That's even more funny because there's a episode, I think it's season 2, Rick and Morty, in which they're on a planet and there's a screaming sun, and that's just hilarious. The combination of two just makes that whole thing very funny to me.
Citizens are pushing for the city council to do something about the solar shrieking every evening for the past few weeks. One homeowner described the sound as the parched cries of sad buzzards, or perhaps even the unholy voice of Old Scratch himself.
Okay, we might learn about Old Scratch.
The city council, speaking in unison at a televised press conference, said that the noise is just the windmill farms that litter the unfortunate wastelands of Desert Bluffs, and that the noises do not fall under Night Vale jurisdiction.
Curious, or...
Walton Kincaid, president of the community group Soundproof Old Town, said that the windmills can't possibly be the source of the noise, as they are non-existent.
Well, that's a point.
And also don't work because of Desert Bluff's staggering incompetence.
Yep, that old city rivalry coming out.
The city council called a second press conference, wherein they all wordlessly stared down Kincaid for 14 uninterrupted minutes. Their dark...
That must have been interesting to watch.
Dark eyes tore holes straight through the community spokesman, metaphorically speaking, until his soul was compacted into what looked like a partially chewed, black-eyed pea.
Ooh, nasty.
Literally. To date, only Old Town residents have reported hearing these inconceivable noises every evening as the sun crosses the indifferent horizon.
At least, the horizon's indifferent to it,
And the noises seem to be taking their toll. There have been 2 heart attacks, 12 cases of significant muscular atrophy, and at least 24 claims of folks growing third eyes.
Ew. You know. But I wonder what that does to your vision. No, in a practical sense, if we had like a third eye, like right here, how would that affect our vision? Would it be triocular? Because right now we see with binocular vision. So would that be triocular? I don't know. Don't know how that would work.
Including Kincaid himself, who had an arachnid-like 8 eyes when he spoke before City Council yesterday morning.
Ew. Just... yeah, that would be weird.
No other neighborhood can hear the sounds.
The old people. It's at old people frequency, or old town frequency, I should say. I shouldn't automatically assume that was old people.
I spoke to Simone Rigaudot in the Earth Sciences building at Night Vale Community College about this scientifically fascinating story, and she called it a simple case of celestial just desserts.
You know, once you get a scientific, get a scientific ruling on it, it is what it is.
Full disclosure, listeners, Rigaudot does not work in Earth Sciences. She is a transient living in the recycling closet of the Earth Sciences building, and she collects cans as pets.
Okay, maybe I was wrong about the scientific opinion,
There is another hearing scheduled at 4 a.m. tomorrow on the highest ledge overlooking Skeleton Gorge.
That sounds like standard issue small town meeting planning to me.
Which can only be accessed by government helicopters. All previous endeavors to scale the cliffside by rock climbing enthusiasts have failed in extravagantly gory fashion.
Hey, as long as it's, extravagant.
The council issued a statement wishing Kincaid luck in attending this mandatory meeting.
Oopsie! Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Breaking news. We've received confirmation from the Sheriff's Secret Police that fugitive Hiram McDaniels was finally apprehended. McDaniels has been on the lam since August. He was wanted on several counts of insurance fraud, falsifying identification papers, evading arrest, and assaulting a police vehicle with fire.
Probably not the best things, but there could be worse.
McDaniels was spotted near his Earl Road apartment early Saturday morning by several alert neighbors. The neighbors said they were able to identify McDaniels because he matched police sketches of an 18-foot tall, 5-headed dragon that had been posted across Night Vale.
Yeah, a few episodes back, he was wanted for traffic violations. Now, seems that it's went up. His charges have, I can't think of the word, have compiled. He has committed more offenses.
Fingerprints later confirmed that McDaniels was definitely a dragon.
Yeah, good scientific fingerprinting, It rules out all other possibilities.
Secret police are still unsure of McDaniels' motives for returning home. And, well, listeners, our station intern Stacy just handed me a photo of Hiram McDaniels. He is a very dynamic-looking dragon.
As far as dragons go,
The raw power, the intensity in those 5 faces, those many sets of piercing blue and red and black and green and yellow eyes. I can certainly see how he charmed his way out of an arrest.
Yeah, it's... with eyes like that, the charm factor does go up.
He must never get tickets. What a guy. An unsigned press release I found under my pillow this morning announces the following.
You know, press releases, turn up in some of the weirdest places.
There is a free party this Friday at the abandoned missile silo outside of town. The purpose of this party is to celebrate. There will be no sign or music, but the party is inside the silo. This party takes place at 3 a.m. and will be over at 3:05.
Sounds like parties in my neck of the woods. Or at least sponsored parties.
It will be dark, both inside and outside the silo. Grope blindly towards happiness. Keep your mouth open and your teeth together to indicate you are at a party. You will hear noises, and later you will not.
Long as he's letting people know what to expect, If you go into a party like that, knowing what you're going to encounter, probably going to be a little bit better for it.
This party will feature special guest Bon Jovi, although he does not yet know it.
You gotta love those little things like that.
See you there. An interesting note on Hiram McDaniels. Intern Stacy tells me that she's been Googling the roguish dragon. Did you know that he has a blog? He's a very smart fellow, some really groundbreaking ideas.
Uh-oh. This can be very scary.
Here's one post from last week. If I were mayor of Night Vale, I would give incentives for small business development and focus on youth physical fitness programs.
Yeah, those are some good points.
Human youth are the human future, after all.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, it seems a certain multi-headed fugitive wants to become mayor of Night Vale. You have my vote, Hiram.
So, yeah. That's all I can say there.
Thursday night, the city council is voting on a new measure that would prohibit breathing as an involuntary muscular action.
Okay, that's kind of just real scary to some of the, because I could honestly see the current governor and AG of Texas trying to come up with some shit like this.
Historically, the human body has been able to control breathing without the brain needing to consciously activate the diaphragm. Under the new rule, all residents of Night Vale would be required to make the physical choice of whether or not, and when, to breathe.
Mm-hmm. But, that's kind of spooky with some of the laws and stuff regarding the human body that have been passed in the last 3.5 years around the country, around America. This isn't as far-fetched as you think it is.
The city council said that we have too long taken the receipt of oxygen for granted, and that this sense of entitlement must cease. If the vote passes, residents will have until March 1st of next year to learn to control these involuntary muscle groups during lucid sleep.
Hey, it is what it is. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, I guess.
Detractors say that it is our constitutional right to breathe how we want, and that it is not the government's job to legislate breathing. The council responded by waving a brick in the air at reporters and shouting, "We learned to beat our own hearts. We taught ourselves to wet our own corneas."
Uh-huh. Yep. That's it. This whole thing's just kind of spooky. spooky because it's so close to reality right now.
We have pulled ourselves up from nothing. It is the American dream.
It is the American way.
Then they took a deep breath all together, lowered the brick, broke it into pieces, and devoured it.
Yeah. That's not scary at all.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Oh, this is going to be good.
We all want to live forever, right? Wrong. Think about watching your family die as you selfishly carry on. Your children aging and passing, your grandchildren, and so on. Think of all the friends you'll make, but eventually lose. You don't want that.
Yeah, he's got some very valid points there.
No. You know the Earth is eventually going to be swallowed by the sun, right? And one day you would be present for this greatest of all apocalypses. As fascinating as this would be, scientifically speaking, this excitement would fade as the pain of 1,000-degree flames engulfed your tender body, and your aged mind would be so alone in this interminable torture.
I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's not wrong.
Does this sound like something you want? We didn't think so. Immortality is stupid. Think before you wish.
Yeah, that regardless of what you're wishing for, that is always a good bit of advice.
This message brought to you by DirecTV.
See, this is why I love the in-universe ads in this show versus the ones they do for like black tapes or rabbits or other things. They have in-universe ads, but they're just ads. This Night Vale does them right. They make you want to listen to them. They make you want to listen for them.
Dear listeners, right after we reported on Hiram McDaniel's interest in becoming Night Vale mayor, the dirty campaign tactics came into play, stirring up bad feelings and slinging the old municipal mud.
Uh-oh. This is getting kind of crazy.
Incumbent Mayor Pamela Winchell issued a statement citing township bylaws that prohibit prisoners from running for public office. Now, isn't it just like a career politician, such as Mayor Winchell, to make such unethical ad hominem attacks on a great reptilian beast?
You got a point. I mean, just because he's a dragon, doesn't mean he's not qualified.
Simply because he's in jail. It sounds to me like the mayor is feeling McDaniel's breathing down her neck. Breathing dragon fire, that is. Give 'em hell, Hiram.
Uh-oh, I think our boy Cecil is pro-dragon.
The following is a test of the emergency dream broadcast system.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
In the event of an actual emergency, you would just now be experiencing a dream in which you were in the neighborhood where you grew up. Only all the houses are now black, featureless cylinders. Just row after row of these blank, dark cylinders.
Okay. Yeah.
Stretching out around you. You are home, but you are also somewhere from whence you will never find home again.
Yeah, that is definitely the feeling you get in dreams.
There is someone waiting for you at the end of the longest street. You know that, although you do not know who. You try to run down the street and it grows longer.
And longer.
And longer. You pass by one cylinder in particular and know that it's your house. You stop running. You approach the blank face of the cylinder, its surface seeming to devour light and sound. You reach out, and you are inches from touching it. Just then you hear a ding.
A ding, a ding, a ding, ding, ding.
You look up to see words in the sky. Possible flash floods, they say. Alert valid until 3 p.m.
Yeah, that definitely a dream sequence. Definitely a dream sequence.
Once again, this has been a test of the emergency dream broadcast system.
Yes.
The Night Vale Mall is having to deal with angry calls from parents after the Santa they hired for Christmas photos was once again a no-show.
Uh-oh. That's never good.
Mall public relations officials said that the missing Santa is actually a performance art piece meant to show people how our capitalist idols are truly non-existent, ghosts of materialistic ideas that we have embraced as replacements for true spiritual meaning.
That kind of hits pretty hard, you know, depending on one's particular religious outlook. That could be, that could be just spot on point.
A long line of upset parents and crying children stretched from Santa's empty chair to just past the Hollister. The mall PR officials added that they have a really cool idea for Valentine's Day.
This can be kind of crazy.
They're thinking like moving pictures of actual beating hearts projected onto a large teddy bear, which has been stretched open like a vivisected frog from 7th grade.
Those people need to go ahead and go with it. Just see what the people have to say.
Life science? Officials added, it's going to be monstrous and beautiful. You don't even know what art really is. You don't even know yourself.
Wow.
They concluded by chanting and pumping their arms in unison, like a lower Paleolithic version of the YMCA dance.
Oh, gosh. I mean, speaking of that's just funny.
And now, the weather.
Okay, once again, we will pause for the weather and return after the weather. Okay, we are back after the weather. Let's see what final thoughts that we got from our boy Cecil.
During the break, I received a message from Mayor Winchell's office responding to our previous reports. According to the mayor, mayoral elections aren't for another 3 years, and Hiram McDaniels is ineligible to run not only because of his jail stay, but also because he is neither a Night Vale resident nor a human being.
I might throw something into his campaign, throw a wrench into it.
There is, she says, no precedent for a 5-headed dragon as elected official.
Well, you got to respect precedents, but sometimes you got to break it.
Mayor Winchell also pointed out that writing the throwaway phrase, "If I were mayor of Night Vale," on a blog is not an official declaration of candidacy.
Once again, I got to say it. She's not wrong.
There is paperwork, Mayor Winchell shouted into my...
That is a lifelong bureaucrat for you. Always reverting to the paperwork.
My voicemail. You can't just... Oh, she continued. trailing off slightly at the end. What followed was about 95 seconds of loud stomping and what sounded like wood chopping in the distance.
I don't want to laugh over the dialogue, so I kind of paused it.
Before the message finally ended. Allow me a retort, dear listeners, with this brief editorial. With all due respect, Madam Mayor, have we not had enough dragon bashing?
Yes, dragon bashing. We shouldn't judge something by its species.
Our great country once held to some terrible old customs, but we grew up. We learned. We abolished slavery. Women won the right to vote. Ghosts can now marry.
Ghost marrying, that's an important one. One of the most important ones of this century.
But of course not have children. I mean, that would be a real slippery slope. And our own little burg is on the verge of becoming the first city in this great nation to legalize time travel.
Hey, you got to be a pioneer in something. Time travel would be it.
So let's loosen our collars. Let's march into the reptilian future, not cling to the narrow past. Just because a dragon is a dragon and has 5 heads doesn't mean he can't lead our community.
That's a very, very valid point. Gotta give him a chance.
Sure, critics will say, oh, but Cecil, what if his 5 heads don't agree on something? What if one's like, yeah, let's build this school, but another's like, no more schools, and the others are drunk or sleepy or something? How can we agree to elect 5 heads that can't agree with themselves?
Counterpoint.
To this I say, shame on you for your negative stereotypes of multi-headed beings. Free your mind. The rest, as our official town song says, will follow.
Yeah, that's going to be an argument on the campaign trail. Sounds like it anyhow.
The song also says, lap deeply of the scarlet mud after the blood rains of the apocalypse. But
yeah, that's not really sure about that.
I don't think that quite applies here. So with this, I am proud to offer my endorsement of Hiram McDaniels for mayor of Night Vale. Sure, the election isn't for 3 years, but it's never too early to effect change.
Sounds like the American electoral system now.
And in that time, we will rally. We will petition to get what we want. And soon, a great leader will rise. Lead us to that future, Hiram.
Well, you start campaigning when you start campaigning, I guess.
But that is later. Now, it is dark. It is quiet.
Yes, it is dark. Well, not really. If you look over my shoulder, you can see the crack on the window, on the curtain. It's not dark outside, but it is a Night Vale.
Just you and me, dear listener. Just my voice, traveling from this microphone, traveling silent and immediate across sleepy homes and lost souls to your ears. You curl under a blanket, protecting your body from the world.
I have to agree with that.
Excepting a few clever spiders. And you are listening, hearing me. Sleep heavily and know that I am here with you now. The past is gone.
Yeah, past is usually, that's kind of how the past works.
And cannot harm you anymore. And while the future is fast coming for you, it always flinches first and settles in as the gentle present.
He's got a point. He got a very valid point there.
This now, this us, we can cope with that. We can do this together, you and I, drowsily but comfortably.
Hey, if you're comfortable and you're drowsy, that's just a really good feeling, to be honest with you. I have to adjust my legs here. There we go.
Stay tuned now for our 2-hour special, Car Alarms and Their Variations, brought to you commercial-free by Canada Dry. Good night, Night Vale. Good night.
That was an interesting episode. Really enjoyed it. Hope everyone out there is enjoying the Night Vale stuff. Hope you enjoy more than one of my videos, but it is what it is. People like what they like, and I'm just hoping to put it out there for somebody to like and enjoy. So until next time, be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?